Hi there, Working Homeschool Mom. This is Charlotte from Charlotte Jones 24/7 and My Little Homeschool. And this is episode number 80 of the Strike a Balance podcast for Working Homeschool Moms. And today we're going to be talking about something that I have spoken about before, but that I think is just really important to revisit. And that is self-care for working homeschool moms, specifically easy and realistic self-care for working homeschool moms, because we all know that we often don't have hours and hours and hours to spend on self-care. So in this episode, I'm going to give you some ideas for short and effective self-care activities that you can do, that you can realistically do and can realistically maintain. But before we get to the episode, I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. In this way, more working homeschool moms can find the podcast and we can grow the supportive, wonderful working homeschool mom community together. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome to the Strike a Balance podcast for working homeschool moms. This is Charlotte Jones. I'm a homeschool coach and homeschooling mom of twin boys. I know it can feel really overwhelming to keep all the balls in the air all the time. So each week I chat about tips and strategies for being a happy and thriving working homeschool mom that you can implement in your life too. I also speak to awesome and inspiring women who manage to juggle homeschooling and work successfully and find out what their secrets are. Be sure to check out my time audit and mindset challenge in the show notes and sign up to my newsletter for lots of cool freebies. And if you ever need to chat, please book in a session with me. I'm so excited for you to be here and I hope you'll get so much value out of this episode. So let's get started. Are you looking for a new math curriculum? Well, I'm thrilled to introduce our favorite math curriculum to you. CTC Math specializes in providing online video tutorials that take a multi-sensory approach to learning. Favorably reviewed in Kathy Duffy's 102 Top Picks and the Old Schoolhouse Crew review, the lessons are short and concise to help your children break down concepts and appreciate math in a whole new way. The lessons are taught the traditional way and not to a test. Each one of the video tutorials is taught by an internationally acclaimed teacher, Pat Murray, who is renowned for teaching math concepts in a simple, easy-to-understand way and in only a few minutes at a time. Using a multi-sensory approach means having the combination of effective graphics and animation synchronized with the voice of a friendly teacher together with a practical assessment. This three-pronged attack makes learning so much easier and more effective. Even students who struggled with math are getting fantastic results, and ones who were doing okay before are now doing brilliantly. Visit ctcmath.com today to start your free trial. CTC Maths is generously offering my listeners an amazing special. Go to www.ctcmath.com/MLH to get a half-price discount plus a bonus 6 months for free. That's ctcmath.com/MLH. On the episode today, I want to talk about easy and realistic self-care for working homeschool moms. And the reason why I'm covering self-care again is because I've just created an ebook, which you can get if you sign up to my newsletter, which I will leave in the show notes. It was really good for me to revisit self-care and to think about self-care. We cannot really talk about self-care enough for working homeschool moms. Most of the things that I talk about, time management, prioritization, should aid including more self-care in your day, because it's so very important for working homeschool moms, because self-care for working homeschool moms is vital, because we all know that we need to replenish our energy regularly. We need time to rest, to regroup so that we can keep all the balls in the air. But then why do we constantly put ourselves last? And to be honest, I'm not sure there's an easy answer to this question. I guess maybe we feel overwhelmed or maybe we don't feel deserving. But one thing that I do know is that we have to prioritize self-care, because a frustrated and frazzled working homeschool mom is not able to keep all the plates spinning. So I just wanted to chat about some ways that you can incorporate self-care in an easy and realistic way, because I think this is what's important, because this is what's going to make it sustainable. And then with practice and patience, you'll be able to have as much time as you need, and your working homeschool mom life will be more harmonious. So the first point is so important to me, and that is to do less, but more often. So I am a huge believer, I've spoken about this before, about taking a huge, big goal or task and breaking it into more manageable steps. That's what I do for all the big goals that I have. I break them down into small steps that I can take every day. And self-care is very much the same. So spending less time on self-care means that you will be able to do it more often. So 5 minutes is better than no minutes. 20 minutes of yoga 3 times a week is, say, much easier to manage than 1.5 hours of yoga, which I used to do when I was young. I don't know how I managed that. And even having a few mindful minutes during the day can work wonders. Another thing I think, which we also maybe think, is that self-care should be physical or it should be going somewhere. But I think we can't underestimate the power of the brain in self-care. I'm a big proponent of sweating. Just for general mental health. But I think also taking care of your brain is incredibly important when it comes to self-care. It can be a little bit easier. You could read a few pages of a book. Journaling is a great way to get out negative feelings, to plan for the future, to write about your dreams. Guided meditations are also fantastic where it takes very little effort. You just search on YouTube for 5 minutes, 10 minutes of guided meditation. And if you can afford it as well, therapy is also obviously a fantastic option. And I do still love a Wordle. I will do a Wordle every single morning. And I love that as a good way to wake up in the morning to get my brain going. I have an exciting announcement to make, something that I've been working on for a long time, which is finally coming to fruition. And that is the WHM Collective. The WHM Collective is a group coaching membership specifically for working homeschool moms. So I know it's really easy to become overwhelmed and frustrated as a working homeschool mom. Group coaching is a fantastic way for you to meet other working homeschool moms online so that you can work on what's holding you back together. It's a great way to learn in a group how to welcome more joy and ease into your life. But let's just quickly think about if group coaching is for you. So group coaching is for you if you're feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and want to welcome more joy and ease in your life. You're feeling lonely and like nobody really gets what you're going through. You want tools to help you have a more balanced life. You need accountability to make the changes you're craving, and you're ready to invest time and energy into creating a life that you love. Group coaching is not for you if you're unwilling to become aware of what's causing you to feel like you're stuck in a holding pattern. You prefer to go it alone and don't want to share your struggles and hopes. You want a step-by-step guide that requires no thought. You aren't willing to give group coaching the time it takes to see real changes. But if you've decided that group coaching is for you, I'm sure you're going to love the WHM Collective. WHM Collective will be a monthly membership, which you will find on Patreon. And I've hosted on Patreon so that I can keep the costs really low because I know that finances can be an issue. And basically what you'll get for your monthly membership fee is you'll get a monthly workshop, you'll get printables, you'll get email support. You'll have one free one-to-one coaching session included, office hours where you can ask me anything in real time, discounts and special offers. And this is something that I'm really excited about, access to past content, which will be growing exponentially every month as I create new ebooks, as I upload workshops, and as I create printables. So for just $9 a month, you're going to have a lot of support on your working homeschool mom journey. I'm so excited to start this membership. And if this is something that sounds good to you, then be sure to sign up for the waitlist, which will be in the show notes. And then in terms of practically including self-care into your schedule, I think you need to be committed to actually scheduling it in. I will book in self-care and I will mark myself as busy. And I always talk about that and also about kind of writing it in pen in your calendar so you can't just rub it out and replace it with something else. So I really think that self-care should be as important as going to the dentist or remembering your mother-in-law's birthday. The appointment that you make with yourself should be as important as any other task. But like I said, if it's something that seems overwhelming, start small. Start with 10 minutes. Start with 2 minutes, even if that's what you can manage, and build up from there. And then I think also something that is important to remember is your actual physical health as well. We are holistic beings, and physical health can play a big part in your mental health as well. I know for myself, I'm somebody who struggles very much with health anxiety. The pandemic, made that much worse. I'm in perimenopause, so the hormones are going mad. I'm very consistent now with regular health checks, and it's done wonders for my mental health. the other things I've done as well is to stop drinking so much coffee and alcohol, which has also helped a lot for my mental health. I know we speak about coffee and alcohol in a fun way. Alcohol mom, wine moms. Is it actually helping your mental health if you think about it honestly and clearly? I know that it has reduced my anxiety a lot to cut down on wine. So that's checking your physical health. And then, as always, there are mindset shifts or mindset work that you have to do as well. So first of all, this is something that I've spoken about a lot, and in an upcoming episode, we speak about it as well. It's the idea that self-care should look a particular way. We should be having manicures, we should be going to the gym, or whatever the case may be. But as with homeschooling, as with the way your schedule looks, I think comparing what your self-care looks like to somebody else's self-care is going to suck the joy out of that self-care. It's important to do the things that you enjoy. If you don't like a manicure, you don't like manicures. There's nothing wrong with that, but you might like gardening or getting your hands dirty. So self-care should really be unique to what you like, what you can manage, and what you can afford as well. And that is what's going to make it much easier to sustain. And consistency with new habits, with creating habits, is really important. And then finally, I just want to chat about setting boundaries. I know setting boundaries is hard, especially when you're dealing with family. I know if you're worried that you're taking time away from your kids, or if you have family members who put demands on your time, it can be hard to put those boundaries in place. And because often it comes with a lot of baggage as well, doesn't it? But it's really worth it to work on how to set boundaries. And it becomes much easier for you to manage your own time and therefore to prioritize self-care when you have those boundaries in place, because then you can choose to spend time on your self-care. In my experience, setting boundaries can start with a simple no, and the first time can be terrifying. Here is a practical tip about setting boundaries. First of all, you need to know exactly what your boundary looks like and what it looks like when somebody steps over that boundary. And then you can kind of practice with a script. What would you say if somebody stepped over that boundary? So for example, somebody calls you when you're homeschooling. What would you say to them? It can really help you to practice and to have that script. And then once you try it once you say no once, I know it can be terrifying, but with practice, it definitely becomes easier. And then when people see that those boundaries are non-negotiable, then it will be much easier for them to realize that you are serious about that boundary. So if you're feeling like you never have time for yourself, then I really hope this episode has given you some ideas for how you can incorporate self-care realistically. I think the biggest takeaway is that you should start really, really, really small, but be consistent with those 1 minute, those 2 minutes, and hopefully eventually 15, 30, 1 hour. But just start really, really, really small and just take it one step at a time and realize and know in your soul that you are worthy of self-care and that it is incredibly important. And making that appointment with yourself is as important as any other task that you have to do during your day. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Drop me a DM on Instagram or post on the Working Homeschool Moms support group over on Facebook. And let me know what resonated the most with you. It would also be great if you could rate, review, and subscribe, or share the podcast with a working homeschool mom who might need it. It's my mission to support as many working homeschool moms as possible. Until next time, take care